Just reviewing the Wyoming win, I think, and just another milestone for this program, kind of the way I look at it. Opportunity to win a Mountain Division championship, and we did it, and win the first rifle. And so that's neat accomplishments. Anytime you get to take a picture out on the midfield with the scoreboard in the background and all that kind of things, I think it's just another step in this program's climb. We're not there yet. We're continuing to ascend and give ourselves a chance to continue to compete. And we're going to get to do that this week in the championship game. So really proud of our players and everything that they've done. And we got one more week to finish the drill. So it's will be the theme again this week is try to find a way to go 1-0 against Fresno and finish the drill. I think they've done a nice job of putting the blinders on and you know, I said that in the post game, but I really have, as the more I reflect on it this weekend, they all they care about is winning that week, and you know, it's a mindset. It's a little cliche, but cliche-ish, I should say, but it's a mindset with everybody in the building. And it's kind of like right there. I kind of forgot we just played Wyoming for a second because all you've been doing for 48 hours is seeing red and white and the Bulldogs, and they get your attention really quick. So in going right into that game, this is something that will be a major challenge for our program Saturday night at Bulldog Stadium. It's a tough place to play. It'll be a great atmosphere. We know that, and we recognize that. Coach DeRuiter and his staff have done a fantastic job in 2 years, not just this year, but in the last 2 years, and things that Timmy's done there. And I got a lot of respect for Timmy. We go way back, and I know they'll be very well coached. They'll be ready to play, and we'll get their very best shot, and they'll get our very best shot. Should be a really good game. Extremely talented team, skill that just oozes out of that program. I mean, they got 3 wideouts and a punt returner and a quarterback that I've got a lot of respect for. So our defense has a major challenge on our hands, and that will be a huge part in the game, is the number 1 offense in the Mountain West against the number 1 defense in the Mountain West. And let it all begin. I know there'll be a million questions on that, so why don't you guys go ahead and start firing away.
Derek Carr, you know, obviously big arm. I mean, what do you see out of maybe his mental game and his understanding of their offense?
Well, the first thing is I do have a lot of respect for Derek. I have seen them on cross tape or exchange tape or whatever you want to say against our next opponent. It seems like for the last 6 weeks, it seems like we've played somebody either a week or 2 behind Fresno, and we always get them, and so they're in our cut-ups and everything, and so I've seen them way too much. The first thing is he has got a NFL arm, strong arm. He's very accurate, and he's got one of the smoothest, quickest releases I've ever seen. He can just flip a ball. It's like sometimes you guys got to understand now, we're watching the other side of the ball. We're watching a formation and alignments by offense, and then we're watching coverage, front stump blitz, everything on defense, and then we're watching the defensive personnel, and we're like, rewind that, let me see this guy pedal, let me see this guy break. And I'll tell you what you do is you start catching yourself going, rewind that. Let me see that throw again. You know, let me see that catch Devontae just made. So you start catching yourself watching them. And so I've seen enough of them and to know how good they are. Dave Schramm's done a great job with that offense. They're really explosive, and they're very creative. They're outside-the-box thinkers, and a lot of respect for what they're doing right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't they have that play where the offensive lineman caught a pass for a
Yep.
touchdown?
Cal Poly, we were watching game 2 yesterday, so we're going way back. So it was really neat.
This is the best quarterback-receiver combination you played this year.
No question. Not even close.
You touched on it a little bit, but
Probably since I've been here. I mean, who's been better in 3 years since I've been at Utah State? I don't know. La Tech last year was pretty good. Those 4 guys are really good, and I think their tight end's very good.
was just say you touched on a little bit with Coach Tim DeRuiter. Talk
Mhm.
about your relationship with him, your respect for him.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Timmy. So, known him since, oh my goodness, now you're going to ask me, put me on the spot, 1999. I guess we were at Navy for 3 years together and the Naval Academy. And, we had some good times and some bad times as far as team, but he and I have been very good friends since then. And have spent a lot of time together. And, I've got a lot of respect for Timmy. And, Tim and Kara are good friends of ours. And that, that's neat. So Timmy and I have exchanged a lot of calls and texts, just over the last year of me becoming a head coach, just in him helping me and sharing things with me. And, we always teased with each other, hey, it's, for the next 2 years, we're okay. We can share secrets because if we end up playing each other, we both had pretty good years. I never thought, I guess we both never thought it'd really happen just because of the odds or whatever. But you don't think much past that. But, yeah, it's a good friendship, but you know what? It's not about me, and it's not about Matt. It's not about Tim. It's about the players on both sides of the ball. And as long as we put them in position to make plays, and we do our job, the players win games on both sides of the ball. So it's not about he and I Saturday night. I promise you that.
Last time you guys went into Bulldog Stadium, came out with a loss. Do you have any memories or something that would speak to how challenging it is to play there?
Oh, I know. I've played there when I was a player here. I've coached there at University of Tulsa, coached there here at Utah State. And it's a tough place to play. It's going to be loud. They play well at home. It's a really good crowd. And it'll be a big challenge. Yeah.
Nick Vigil, Mount West player.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? A lot of that's a great accolade and accomplishment for him, and an honor, I guess. Reflective to me completely of the whole defense and how they played. Nick had opportunities. He stepped up. He made plays. He's a great young talent here. He's got a great future. He's really, really athletic. But you know what? He's the same mold as the rest of those guys. He's blue collar. He's got an edge to him. He's got a toughness to him. He's really smart. He can play multiple positions. So we'll be talking about Nick for a long time the next 3 years.
I know some guys sounded like they wanted to play spoiler for Fresno when they were in BCS contention. But do you think it's a positive thing that they've lost headed in this game? They've proven they're beatable in one sense.
Kyle, I don't look at it as a positive or a negative because I just look at it as here's the situation. We're playing a 10-1 football team. It's top 20 in the country, right? Are they still in the top 20? That's all I know because I really haven't thought about playing Fresno until, Saturday. And so it is what it is. None of us inside this building will look at it as a positive or a negative that they've got one loss. It is what it is.
Because Adams is just a sophomore. He's only played just the last 2 years.
Is he coming out this year?
He could, obviously,
Okay.
with what's going on. But again, he makes spectacular plays, but it looks like he also just catches short balls and runs like crazy.
Guy's got great hands. He's got deceptive speed. He runs really good routes. He gets up on top of DBs. He sticks his toe in the ground. Guy's a big-time player.
And is Harper and Burse similar?
Yeah, they're just there's some different skill sets, shorter, quicker, a little bit more inside route running type guys, but they do a nice job. They complement each other really well.
It's another week where you guys face statistically not a great defense. How do you kind of motivate your guys and say, hey, we can't just take the numbers or whatever?
We don't look at those numbers. Only you guys do. I don't have to motivate them. We're going in the Mountain West Championship game. Not a whole lot of people outside this complex, anytime during the year, thought we'd be playing this game except the people in this complex. Let's call a spade a spade. And then nobody in October, when we were 3-4, thought we'd be in the Mountain West Championship game. So nothing's going to motivate my guys to play well besides their own performance and their own expectations. I don't need to look at defensive numbers. And I don't need to look at stats to motivate our guys. Our guys are extremely motivated. And really, honestly, they don't look at that stuff. for motivation.
Big picture, what changed after the 2 losses?
I don't know what changed, except maybe what narrowed your focus a little bit more, and that was a lot more on us and what we had to do. Not that you didn't worry about an opponent or scheme an opponent. I don't mean that. I mean, I think the focus just turned right to us, and we said, you know what, we're going to have to rally around some brand new players, mainly on offense, all on offense, and we're going to have to play, you know, like I've said here, 4% better each kid. We're going to have to play a little bit better around them, and the guys stepping in are going to have to play well. They don't have to win it by themselves. Daryl Garrettson doesn't have to win it by himself. He has to play efficient. He has to play within the system, not turn the ball over. Well, he's done it for 5 straight weeks. If he does it again Saturday, you have a chance to win. That's all you want to do is give yourself a chance to win. We've played really well on special teams, and we've played exceptional on defense. So,
Well, the thing with them as far as like their defense, they might give up stuff, but they sack the quarterback a heck of a lot. They put tons of pressure on. Is that,
Yep.
are they blitzing
Yep.
from, because it looks like corners
Yep.
and safeties and everybody has sacks.
Timmy DeRuiter will not sit and watch. He will force the issue on defense. He will be calculated aggressive. And, you know, I've gone against his defenses, and I got a lot of respect for him. I think they do a good job. And, you know, in some ways with the odd front, some of the zone pressures, similar to our defense, we see it quite a bit. So I don't know if that gives us an advantage than some teams, but we see it in practice. It's a matter of IDing it right. It's a matter of executing. Still, it comes down to executing blocks and picking up protections and blocking run blitzes and all those kind of things. So they're aggressive, and that's why you see that TFLs and sacks. And the Smith kids got a lot of picks, so they're aggressive.
And then, but San Jose was able to run the ball a little bit more than maybe sometimes you think, and that's kind of a big deal for you too.
Ran it a little bit in the second half.
Yeah.
That's our deal. We're going to have to run the football, and we know that. It's not a secret. We're going to have to stop the run. We're going to have to run the football. That's been the recipe for success for the last 5 weeks, and that's not changing.
On the flip side, they've only given up 8 sacks all year. What does that say about the offensive line and how quick Carr gets the ball out?
Both. Good protection, someone understanding where you're limited in protection. You know, I think veteran quarterbacks sometimes get that a little bit better than younger quarterbacks. Not every protection's perfect. So where's your limitations? Where are you thin at? And, you know, you see David moving in the pocket and sliding in the pocket a little bit. It's not happy feet. The guy's smart. The guy knows where his protection's limited sometimes. They're thinned out, you know. Knows how to throw hot, knows how to get rid of the ball, and then when it comes out fast and hard and very, very accurate.
You know, one thing Zach was saying is defensive players this year have gotten smarter, especially in the second half of the season. What evidence have you seen of that and from these defenders who have really clamped down in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, I don't know. That's a deep statement for Zach to make. You know, they were pretty smart when they started the year. I think probably what he means is maybe the more and more you play, and the more and more you play with the same guy next to you, you know, the more you're on the same page from a communication standpoint, from an experience standpoint. Yeah, we saw this 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that is an adjustment we had to make against that formation in the boundary or to the field or an empty set or a motion to empty or back in from empty or any of those kind of things. I think it's just guys, you know, those veterans, it's just, you know, they're comfortable with the guys around them, you know, a little bit more each and every week. You got a brand new safety, you know, Maurice. You do have a few new D linemen. You know, Nick has played an extended amount of time for the first time, you know. Kyler's moved to another position, played multiple positions. You know what I mean? So I think they just, you know, they all of a sudden didn't become, you know, that much more smarter because those are smart kids. And I think that's why they've been successful on defense.
You said last week that you don't celebrate near enough. What was the celebration like after that win on Saturday?
At the house or in the locker room?
Either one. Tell
No,
me
I'm
about
just
both.
kidding. No, Yeah, we did. The kids were excited, and it was a good locker room celebration, and it was good for our staff, and it lasted exactly, till bedtime Saturday night, and then here we go again on Sunday, and you wake up Sunday and you have to call 10 recruits and cancel official visits, which is a good thing. So you go jump right back to work Sunday after church. So yeah, I don't ever want to minimize that from a coaching staff standpoint or a player standpoint, because football's different. It's not baseball. You don't play. How many games they play?
62,
Yeah, there you go. That's pros. What do college guys play?
maybe 60.
60. I mean, every day's game day in college baseball. Basketball plays upwards of 30s. They play multiple games each week. Football, you don't do that. You play once a week. You grind for 8 months to play 12 guaranteed, maybe 13, maybe 14 now in our case. So you just game day is everything in football. So when you win, I think you got to celebrate. You got to enjoy it. So enjoy the ride. If not, it's not worth it. So
I know you told us that it was your goal to be here and you expect to be here, but is it maybe a little surreal just kind of reflecting on where you are in your coaching career and your first year being able to play for a conference championship?
what's surreal mean? I'm just teasing. I'm just buying time to answer the question. Honestly, Kyle, very good question, very fair question. I haven't thought 2 seconds about it. Yeah, maybe if I stopped and took a deep breath, but I'm, worried about itineraries this weekend and what color uniform we're wearing, and trying to score a few points, because we're going to have to outscore these guys. These guys can score points, but I haven't thought about it. Our goal was to be in this game. We made no bones about it. Why do you compete if this isn't your goal? You break every huddle. You say Mountain West champs. You talk about it in January. You talk about it again in early June before they hit training camp or summer prep. You talk about it in training camp. Yeah, we've been talking about it. And there have been a lot of people laughing at us. So here we are.
You touched on this a little bit, but one of the trademarks of this program, probably since about Gary's second season, is that this team has a mindset that it doesn't matter who they play, where they play, or when they play. And that's not easy to do because everybody's got to buy into that on the entire roster to do that. What's the key to maintaining that mentality?
Bob, I think just always trying to come back to your foundation or your goals, and always trying to make sure that the kids in your program and your staff understand what are we trying to do, big picture, what are we trying to do today. And, from a big picture standpoint, here's our yearly goals, here's our end goal, what's our goal this week, within that, what's our goal today. I think it's just constant talking about it, understanding where the vision is. So they have to understand what's a vision, what it takes to get there, and consistently remind them positively, constructively, sometimes really loud, sometimes quiet, arm around the neck. That's the way we do things. That's not the way we do things. And that's the only way I know how to do it. So you talk about a big picture, just like I've talked about after the Boise loss. We said, hey, to have a chance at the championship, we got to take care of our own business. We're going to need some help, but we need to focus on us and be 1-0 this week. But we can still make it. So I showed them the standings on that sheet right there every single Monday, and then now we're at the top. You're playing for the big trophy, so. I think you just have to understand that. And right now it's easy because the big picture is the narrow focus this week too. It's the same thing. So find a way to win Saturday.
Are there any guys health-wise who aren't going to be able to be ready to play on Saturday?
Not from the last Saturday. Not different. I don't think we had any injuries Saturday. So.
Is there more buzz and excitement for a one-game playoff, essentially for the championship, than winning in the regular season?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of buzz around here right now. It's it's the inaugural Mountain West Championship game, so you earn the right to play another week. All those kind of things, national television, all those things that are big for your program, and our kids are excited about it.
What does that exposure mean playing on CBS?
I think it's you can't put a price tag on it. From a recruiting, from a marketing, from a branding, all those kind of things. You can't put a price tag on that. For our university, first of all, for admissions, people just looking to go to school here, for our football program, recruiting, and I've said it all along. You got to go and play well, but we're on it, and we're right after another big game, and so the people that tune in, hopefully, you'll see a really good game and see a program that's fun to watch.
One of the, what are you, maybe one of only 20 teams, 18 teams, or whatever they're even playing this week, too.
Yeah.
So,
Questions?
Obviously, beating Wyoming was huge team victory for us on Saturday. From a defensive standpoint, we knew that their quarterback was a good player, and their running back was a powerful back. Their O-line did a good job protecting for the most part, and we schemed up and were able to execute.
And looking ahead, I mean, what do you see about Fresno? They're obviously a really talented offense. What makes them kind of tick?
I just started watching film on them last night and a little bit this morning. Derek Carr is obviously a very talented player, very smart. His O-line does a good job of keeping him clean and free. They don't run the ball very often, but when they do, it seems to be pretty successful for them. And so far, my little bit of film that I've been able to watch, that's what I've seen.
They have like 3 talented receivers. I mean, what do you see from that crew?
Very talented, and I think Carr does a really good job of getting the ball to them. Quick release, gets the ball out of his hands fast, doesn't take too many hits, gets it in their hands, and he lets his athletes work. And his receivers are really good after the catch also. And, they're not going to go down on their first hit, so we're going to have to rally to the football as a defense to stop them.
You're the top-ranked defense in the Mountain West. They're the top-ranked offense. What do you see in this matchup of different styles?
I think it's going to be really exciting. I think we're going to come to play, and I think they're going to come to play, and I don't think they're going to score 70 on us, but I don't think we're going to shut them out either. So it's going to be a good battle, and I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a test for both sides.
Boise has a really well-known national brand, and I think, maybe nationally some people are wondering if Utah State should be in this game and not Boise. I mean, obviously the record worked its way out. I mean, what do you have to say for people that maybe are underestimating Utah State for this game?
Tune in on Saturday when we play Fresno. It'll be exciting. As far as the national brand and all that stuff, I'm just here to play football, and if we get recognized as that's awesome. But I think, what we've done the past few years has spoke for itself, and I think people have finally tuned in, and they know the Aggies. Every time you schedule the Aggies, they're going to come to play.
You told your brother, hey, we need another big game out of you?
Yeah, I told him that on Saturday, actually. In fact, I think I might stop telling him that because he keeps outperforming me. But he's done a good job for us. I'm happy for him.
well, you were the first guy who told us that he was going to be good.
Well, I mean, but not that good. I mean, no, I'm really happy for him. Nick's pass rush has improved really, a long way, improved a lot. And he had a lot of tackles also. So Nick came out there and he showed up, and our defense did a tremendous job except for one play. And, I'm happy for him. It was good.
It seems like the first series in these games, the teams kind of move. There must be a lot of good adjustments going on with your defense in games going on. I mean, you don't have to give us how you do that, but how is it? I mean, how is it done, or what is this all coaching and things?
A lot of it is coaching the first drive. A lot of the offenses script their first 10 plays, and defense we just kind of fill out what they're going to do, and then coaches adjust accordingly. So coaches make most of the adjustments, and we just play what's called. But for the most part, offense is trying to fill out defense. Defense is going to fill out the offense and see what their game plan is for that point in the game. And the game evolves as the time goes on. Like we always say, the 5 minutes left in the third quarter, that's when the game can change from both a defensive schematic standpoint and an offensive schematic standpoint. And so, like you're saying, the first part of we sometimes get driven on a little bit, but we try to bend, not break, and but yeah, it's just a filling out process early on in the game.
And then you players do make kind of adjustments, seeing what's going on in games and things like that
Yeah,
too?
we do as players, but mainly that comes from the coaches, and they'll say, you know, we're seeing this, we're seeing that. You should do this, or you should do that. So
Were you able to go with the team last time they visited Bulldog Stadium?
I wasn't. I think I was injured last time we went there. So it'll be a new experience for me.
Becky, you guys have had a knack for identifying who the big players are for the other team, the players that can take off and beat you on their own if they start playing their game, and identifying who they are and taking them out of their game early and keeping them out of their game. Seems to be very consistent, especially during this streak. Is there a common thread? Because everyone chooses a different challenge. Is there a common thread that runs through that in terms of how you guys have been able to do that every week?
Not so much as a common thread, I don't think, but you know, with Capri Bibbs from Colorado State, we knew he was a talented player. We knew we were going to have to stop the run with him. With Wyoming, their quarterback was their best player, we thought, and we had to stop him from getting out of the pocket. That's when he was most dangerous to us. With Fresno, their quarterback and the receivers and their running back, their whole skill group are their best players. And so, from a defensive standpoint, we're going to have to be very disciplined and execute at a high level if we're going to slow them down and stop them, because they have a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and the quarterback being the main guy. So we're going to have to get after him a little bit and hopefully put a timer in his head.
Is there sort of you guys have allowed 10 points or less for your last 5. Is there sort of a common thread of what's kind of gone right there? Is there one thing you guys are doing better than you did earlier in the season?
I think that players have gotten better, and I think that we've gotten smarter as players, and we're just playing at a higher level right now, and that's how you want to be playing going into the tail end of the season. You want to be peaking right about now, and hopefully we haven't peaked yet. Hopefully we're still climbing because we got 2 games left now, and coaches have done a tremendous job of putting players in position to make plays. Coaching is huge, and our coaches have done a phenomenal job doing that for us.
Reaching this game is obviously the goal to start the season. Now that you're here, can you put attaining that goal into the context of, did you think you would be here when this team was 3-4?
I want to say yes, but you know, there's those doubts in the back of your mind. But at the same time, we knew we were a resilient group of players, and we weren't just going to lay down and say, okay, we're done. You know, we give up. So I knew that we had a group of guys that wasn't going to lay down, and we had to have things fall right for us, and they have so far. And we're happy to be in the position we are, but we know we're not done yet, and we have one more game to prove that we are a very good football team.
Did anything change for you guys after the loss to Boise?
We had a defensive meeting after that game, and you know, we had lost Chucky at that point, and Daryl's stepped up and done a great job for our football team. But we knew that we had to play at a higher level if we're going to win football games, because we have to. And we feel that as a defense, we lead this team. We're a defensive-led team. That's how we feel, and we take great pride in that. And so we had a defensive meeting, and you know, leaders stood up and spoke about it. And since then, I think we played better football, and I think that was a big turning point in this season for us.
Have you played your best football yet?
No. Nope. And I'm hoping we do play it on Saturday.
Was that a players-only meeting or
It
coaches
was.
involved?
It was a players-only meeting.
How do you, last year, we all of a sudden had this really shut-down defense. How do you compare where you're at now defensively with last year? Is it the same kind of feeling at this point of the year?
I think so. I think we've gotten our swagger back. We didn't have the swagger at the beginning of the season for whatever reason, you know, that it factor or whatever. And I think we've got that back now. And it's from where we were last year. I don't want to say we're better or worse than that defense. I think we're smarter than that defense. I think because players have been in the system longer, in a similar system, and we became smarter players. I don't know how we are statistically compared to that defense, but we're a very good defense, and we need to continue to get better and be in the film room. And this is obviously the biggest games of most of our lives, and probably the biggest game of my life. I'm never probably going to be in this position again, hopefully next year. But so.
What has Coach Orlando added, just his little deal that was new to the defense this year, in your mind?
His vocalness. He's very vocal, and that's good for us as leaders, because you know, you can lead by example, but sometimes you just got to step up and you got to say something. And I think that's rubbed off on the players. He's done a tremendous job, like I said, putting us in position to make plays, him and his staff. So very grateful to have him here.
Obviously, with the players, there was a lot of internal kind of kind of turning it on after those 2 straight losses. But what role has Matt Wells kind of played in kind of helping coach you guys and lead you guys through this last stretch?
Well, he's the overall leader of this team, and good or bad, he's going to get a lot of credit or he's going to get a lot of blame for, however things may end up. But he's done a good job at refocusing us every week on you need to be 1-0 at the end of the week. Just refocusing us. You need to be focused on this team now. You have a big picture and you have a small focus. And he's done a tremendous job of refocusing the team every week after a win since that point.
Took a little while to get started.
Well, I feel like we started off slow, and towards the second quarter, we picked it up, and we finally, got a groove on offense and finished the game off strong.
Talk about your returns, the 2 big ones.
My returns, the first ones, I start off with the first one. That was all week we've been planning to get a good feel on the punter since he's like a rugby style punter, and so all week I've been practicing how to catch the ball off a bounce and make a play, and the punt return unit, they did a good job in blocking for me, and I just tried to make the best plays I could.
Seemed like you cramped up on the touchdown return a little bit. Was that the case?
Nah, I ran out of gas. I was a little winded, but I was able to get back in the game and finish the game off.
Well, yeah, because got a touchdown later.
Yes.
Talk about going to Fresno this week and what you see from the Bulldogs.
Big game. I mean, Mountain West Championship on the line. You got to leave it all on the line. Offense, as far as the offense, we have to score points this week, and we know that. I know our defense, they're going to step up. They're going to do a good job. I just feel like this week, the offense, we have to step it up a notch.
It seems like it's just kind of taken. It's been difficult to get the deep throwing game going these last 2 weeks. What has to improve there?
Yeah, it's been kind of rough trying to get the ball out deep, but we lost Travis Reynolds, one of our biggest deep threats. But we just, Ronald Butler, he's trying to step up and take that role. But as far as getting a groove on the deep balls, I feel like it's going to be a good week. We're going to give them all we got.
You guys as a unit playing a little bit for Travis now, being out, you want to play well for him?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned he's one of your best friends and mentors.
Yeah, especially me. Me and Travis, we come from the same city, and I just feel like he worked hard. It's just sad to see him go down like that. He's been having a good season, and I just feel like the whole team, as far as the receiver group, we have to put them on our back and just keep them in mind.
There were more variations of the Wildcat in the last game. You did a few different things. You handed off. You were going to pass. Do you think there'll be more variations to this game?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I'll find out today. But yeah, we had to switch it up. A couple teams was kind of keen on it, so we switched it up. We had some when I hand the ball off, and some where I throw the ball, which I was surprised that I actually was getting a chance to do. But we just switching it up, just give them a couple of different looks, and hopefully we do get a little Wildcat this week.
When they throw the Wildcat at you, and then they put formations now where you're in the backfield and run, have you had a lot to learn these last 3 or 4 weeks, more than you thought you were maybe going to have to?
Yes, Coach Bona, he gives me a test. He gives me like a prep test before every game, and I usually just get the receiver test, but now I have to get a running back, quarterback, and the receiver test. So it's like I had a lot on my plate these last couple of weeks, but I'm enjoying it.
Matt Wells said you're like a 3-point shooter. Every time you touch the ball, you're never sure what's going to happen. What do you think about that comparison?
I thank Coach for that. That's basically him telling me they expect me to make plays, and I try to make plays the best way I can. Special teams, receiver, running back, just anything to help the team win.
Are you kind of instinctual? Is it, I mean, when you're out there, because you kind of run back, run to the side, don't have a really problem kind of going every direction. Is that just all instinct, or do you have some
Yeah.
plans in place?
Nah, it's all instinct. I just try not to get tackled. However I can score a touchdown, that's how I feel like I do. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't look too good, but at the end of the day, as long as I make plays, that's what it's about.
How much did you practice the way that guy punted the ball? Because that was, you don't usually see a punt that's line drive low every time like that.
All week, our punters, they've been giving me a good look at the rugby style punts, and just like I said, we on film, you see that his balls, it bounce, and then I was just trying to get that good bounce, and then make a play after that.
Was it harder than punter like that?
Nah, it wasn't hard actually. I mean, I at first it was hard for me in practice, but I got some good work after practice, so it worked out for the best.
What's it been like these last couple weeks, especially this winning streak under Coach Wells? What has he done that's kind of unique to him as a coach?
I mean, it's been good. The beginning of our season was kind of slow, it's kind of iffy, but then after that the Boise loss, we kind of picked it up from there. Coach, he rallied us all together, and we just got together as a team and just we didn't want to lose anymore, and we seen Mountain West Championship was the way to go.
Would you prefer we call you Bruce?
Nah, I like JoJo, but I don't mind Bruce.
Your mother want us to call you Bruce?
Yeah, she don't mind either.
Okay.
Did Coach say anything when he's rallying the team after those 2 losses? Did he say anything unique, do anything different than he had?
Like Vigil said, Coach, he told us, like, he gave us 2 pictures. It was like a bigger picture. It was a big picture and a small picture. Basically telling us take 1 week at a time, being 1-0 by the end of the week, and just focusing on our opponent each week, and that's what we did, and go out there and execute and win the game.
Not trying to get like a better or worse type judgment, but what is one way that Coach Wells is very different from Coach Anderson?
That's a hard question. That's a hard question for me to answer. I mean, they both 2 different coaches. I was with Coach Anderson for a year, my freshman year, and with Coach Wells, this is my first year with him as a head coach. And it's just, I mean, that's a hard question for me.
Okay. Are they not all that different, I guess?
Nah, they're not too much. They're not different, in my opinion.
Did you look at any film of Fresno's defense yet?
Yes.
What did you see? I mean, they usually had decent secondary guys over the years.
Yeah, they had a decent. They still do actually. I mean, I know one of the defensive backs, he went down due to an injury. So they have some young corners. I feel like we're gonna get after them. But overall as a defense, they're pretty solid. They play hard, they play fast.
When you see what San Jose State was able to do last week against them, I mean, are you kind of licking your lips going in this matchup, or can you afford to think like that?
I mean, seeing that game, San Jose, they threw the ball really well against them, and I feel like coach is gonna get us ready, and we're gonna be ready to throw the ball, run the ball, and just basically win the game however we should in the best way.
What about their punt team? They have actually one of the best punting units in the Mountain West. Did you take that as a challenge?
Yeah, I mean, every week I always look forward to make plays in the punt return game, but just I feel like our punt return unit they block pretty good for me, and I feel like I can make plays.